What is up, everyone? This will be my Elise jungle video, and I'm going to go over everything you need to know on how to play Elise jungle. So right away, Elise jungle, a very AP heavy jungler. So you want to play her when you have less magic damage in your team. So this game specifically, I have Zed solo lane. So whenever you have an AD mid, Elise is really powerful, and especially this game where everyone is AD and I'm the only AP. This is what we call a solo AP game, and in these situations, instead of going Lich Bane, I prefer to rush Storm Surge into Shadow Flame to maximize my magic pen damage, because the enemy team statistically will not be able to go MR. So I'm able to maximize my magic pen with Sword Boots to get as much damage as possible. So a lot of times when you're a solo AP in your team, you always want to maximize that, because the enemy team isn't building any magic resist. You're going to get the most value out of Black Pen. On average, though, if my mid was an AP, I would definitely go into Lich Bane, because, you know, it's just a much better item when the enemy team builds any MR, right? So you always have to think about stuff like that. So if your mid is AD, generally, you might have a good magic pen game. In this situation, if you're top and ball lane or AD, it's obviously a very good flat pen game. So you want to maximize it by going into those items. So usually it will be like a Storm Surge, Shadow Flame, Hourglass game. Into the mechanics of the champion, Elise jungle is a very straightforward mechanical champion. You have your two forms. You always want to be in Spider when you're finishing off the camp, and you want to be in Human when you're starting the camp. So as you can see here, I would just W and kind of move. And your AoE abilities are in your pretty much your Human form. So you always want to kind of start camps in Human. Here in this situation, I'm going to do a full kind of like a pseudo full clear, where I'm going to clear one side of my jungle. And now I'm going to start to get red so I can be active on the map. I like doing this a lot on blue side, because there is a high chance if you try to full clear, you know, there might be a situation where the enemy team invades you and you might get killed because of this. You do not want to get killed. So this situation, I look mid. Because you have a Zed mid, you're always going to lose out on mid priority. So this game, I know already, okay, I'm in a very defensive position in this game. So I might just go for a very simple, kind of like a full clear kind of angle, or like a half full clear, where I can kind of maybe make a play off when I go for a play through, you know, lane. I know it's worded here. So what I'm looking for here is just somewhat of a pressure lane. Something we can do and maybe get value off of. So here I see the Poppy. I'm going to just flash Q him right away. And we're going to Cocoon. Honestly, Cocoon stun doesn't really matter. But there, I know there's wards. And with Elise jungle, you have to understand that you can actually easily lane gank with the repel range. And here we see the crab timer. So I know Viego is in this area. So I'm just going to ping it. I don't really care for crab here. I'm just actually going towards for my raptor camp here. So here I have to give up double crab, but it's not the worst case, because we're able to get that kill, technically assist. But that's really good, because my lanes were really bad. I didn't have good lanes this game. So that's a huge win for us. You have to understand, let's say I full cleared. There is no way I'm going to get this crab, because Viego has mid push and bot push. So he's like really happy in this situation. I'm just going to buy this item because I have exactly enough. And here I'm going to go to my Gromp. And Viego's really happy because he has very dominant lanes early game. And even though Elise a very strong early game jungler, if your lanes aren't going to move, the Bard can move first. If Ari can move first into River, you're pretty much dead. So you don't want to be doing that. I did take a bit longer, so he could be on my second Gromp, but it's a very risky thing to go for second Gromp. So I'm happy with just getting it here and just start my farming. And you're probably like, Inori, your Elise is AFK farming. Yes, farming is one of the most important things still in this jungle meta. So you have to be able to find the best balance between the two. And when I look at lanes, I think about lanes, about what they offer me when I go for a gank. I think Poppy support offers a lot when I go for, you know, any sort of gank ball lane. I think Poppy support brings a lot of value. When I look at mid lane, I see a Zed mid. Zed is disgusting. He doesn't offer anything. Maybe at 6, he brings that damage. But before that, it's pretty much me. It's pretty much only me that's going to bring a lot of value to these ganks. So here I actually think Bard is actually quite easy for us to kill. I actually missed something. So I need Poppy to come here. Damn. If I was able to juke one of that, I may have been able to live. I shouldn't have took that. Barty. So let's just say Viego flash there. Here I'm going to go into my boots, and I do like Dark Seal, especially in a game like this. I do like Dark Seal. Viego's no flash, so I'm going to spam ping it because I want them to run him down, but unfortunately that's out. But here's where Void Grubs comes up, and I'm in a really good position to get Void Grubs. My CS, I didn't get the full clear. He was able to get 2 clears down, so I do want to be able to get some value off of this tempo. Tempo is the speed on which we're in the map state. Right now, I'm super ahead of Viego because he has the base still, so I can just use this advantage to one-shot and take the Void Grub. So here I'm going to go Spider Form, smite the first one. Elise Q does missing health, so if you feel like they're not going to come and try to like ruin your parade here, you should smite the first one in one shot. And here I go for the second one. I stay in Spider Form because I want to wait for all my cooldowns in human form to be up, and then I'm going to switch again. And every time you switch and you hit spells in human form, what happens is actually your spiderlings respawn. So you see how my spiderlings instantly die? That's usual what's going to happen. To bring them back alive, you pretty much just have to hit abilities in human form. That will re-engage your spiders. Here I want to see if Viego's on his red right now. And he is. So that's really good for me. So I can actually see this. What I'm going to do is actually cross here. And I want crab. And I also want dragon if they're not going to do anything about it. Because I'm here with Poppy. I'm in a really happy position pretty much. I do really not want to kill him because I want crab here. I know Viego will come down here. So I'm just trying to get my 6 here. And I'm going to pressure as well with my Poppy. And that's really good damage by us. And I want to fight Viego here, because he's an easy kill target. Beautiful stun. And I'm really happy with this situation. So here is a question. Do we dragon? 1 second on Viego. It's really, really risky. I would not dragon here. Oh, if that hit, that's a kill. But the problem is early timers. It's a long situation. It could easily... Here's actually a good play. But now it's more reasonable to do dragon. But the problem is we're not going to be on good timers. What I want is my ball lane to reset here. They're really low. They use everything. I want them to base here, and I want us to get dragon later. And this was a period where there was a lot of not farming, right? And I see Viego's invading me there, which is, I'm okay with giving raptors, but I'm going to be fighting him here for my red. So what I'm going to do is check my red, and I really want the red. So I know he's on raptors, and I think he's trolling here. I have repel up, so no matter what, he can't really kill me. And a big reason why I flash on him right there, because there's no possible way for him to kill me, period. And I know he's in a terrible position because I pinged it a gazillion times. Even though he juked my E, well played by him. I have repel up. He's never going to kill me in that situation. Now this is where we can dragon. Where Viego sort of wastes his whole window of opportunity, I would say. And now I'm just going to play for the dragon, personally. But with Zed basing, now we're in a really weird situation because now we might actually not be able to dragon because of the situation of Zed being basing. I thought he just based, but I guess he's back again. This is where it's going to get awkward because now I think we're in a bad situation. Yeah, so I have to repel here. But my ball lane is not moving. Like, I don't know why they're like playing on tower. Oh, I hate when they're not looking at the minimap at all. It sucks really when you're just, you know, they were trying to auto tower in this situation. Like, just move up. Like, just move up. Just move up. Please. Please, please, pretty please move for the objective that is free. I honestly bought a lot of time too, made them run around in circles for that. And I really was expecting Poppy not to channel R, but to just dash on him. Why did she R there? She just E him and R and we would have one-shot him. She's like trying to like ulti him away. We could kill him, not ulti him away there. It's really easy to flash Poppy ult in my opinion. And the Veigar matchup honestly isn't that hard because he doesn't really have anything to block your Cocoon. Cocoon blocks are where I would say it's really difficult to be the sort of... Here I'm going to repel fast. He did use his E, right? Nope. This is where it's really weird situation where, okay, everything's going on. Do we want to do Dragon here? Dragon is always the harder one to do. If your team is not on board with Dragon and then your team is griefing by literally fighting every single time you start Dragon, just go and do the other objective like Void Grubs. Our ball lane wants to prioritize kills, and that's fine. Then my team is really heavily fighting. They're losing fights, which is bad for them. Just go and do the other objective, right? You just want one objective. You also want to do them when it's good for you. There are a few timers where you may have to try to be really sneaky about it, but here is not really that situation because we keep winning fights. I'm close to my Storm Surge, which is going to give me a huge magic damage spike. And I'm just see how they're literally grouped up again for dragons. You're going to notice a lot of these games, these people just instantly go into like this super weird group up and fight mentality, and they just permanently group up and fight. So here it's dragon time, they're starting it, so what we're gonna do is actually look for a kill on the Veigar here. And Veigar, Bard, Ahri, they are overgrouping, and when the enemy team is overgrouping, it's pretty bad for them. As you can see, that team that starts Dragon in this situation, it really hasn't gone well for them. I noticed this trend a lot in a lot of my games, is where exactly what happened, what you saw happen, where the enemy team is just insane with how often they're grouping and fighting. Here you can tank, or I can repel anytime to reset tower aggro. If you have your spider form E up, the repel, tank ASAP, because you can tank 3 tower shots and then just use your E to reset turret aggro. And also you can E while the turret shot is coming into you, which is a really important mechanic. And here I'm going to get my Storm Surge, I'm going to get my Shadow Flame, and I'm going to be happy and ready to go. Top lane situation is actually quite bad, so this game could be much harder than it looks. Even though we get objectives early, top lane can carry. GP is a scaling champion, so... Also, GP is pretty good into Elise. My Cocoon is pretty worthless because he can just E it. In this situation, I see Herald is up, but honestly, my jungle is really important right now. Also, I think Sivir, a very notorious AD carry move here is to keep pushing and try to go for the trade tower when they see AD carry mid. And I like it when they do that because I can just go and get a free AD carry kill. So I always kind of go for that. So what I do is just wait, just human spider form her down. You really don't have to change forms. When you're strong with strong item spikes, Magic Pen, Storm Surge, you go human form if you need that extra Q stun plus your spider link damage. But a lot of times in those situations, you can see you can actually just go into spider form and just run people down. You don't have to always start every gank with a Cocoon hit. Honestly, some ganks, if you're strong enough to just kill them, do not start with Cocoon hit. A lot of ganks actually don't start with Cocoon because I think I can just spider form onto them and sort of run them down in a way, and that's very, very powerful. A lot of plays are going to be really good for that. So you have to understand some situations. Very, very early game, you're not really going to have that much damage, so a lot of times, yes, you want to cocoon them, and champions are a lot slower, so it's easier to hit your human form cocoon. But as you can see, as people get faster, there's more mobility abilities, right? It's going to be hard to guarantee you hit this, plus minions can block it. Sometimes the best way to hit a cocoon is actually wait for your team to crowd control someone, right? Like sometimes I'm going to be waiting for Poppy to stun, and then I'm going to go for like a cocoon. And there's a lot of mechanics. Once you cocoon, you want to go switch form, use your W as an auto attack reset, and just spider them down. I have a lot of money, but I don't really have much of a buy right now. Plus, I need to finish farming on jungle camps. Zed, I don't know what you're doing out there, man. He actually kills, though. 2 item spike. There's not much going on, right? So what we do is steal whatever camps we can here, and we just play really, really hungry. And here I see the same person who we spoke about earlier, who I also... I really think she's a free kill, right? Abuse the person who's inting, right? Grief her. There's no way she can get out, right? So what we're going to do is just E onto her again. Always start with the E, smite her, Q. She's going to try to Q, but it doesn't really work. You see how much damage you have, right? And what do I do in that situation? I just push the wave. So I always do this. I abuse enters in side lane. Elise is really good at killing solo split side laners. And a really common trend you're going to see, the reason why the Sivir keeps being isolated alone is because my bot lane is winning. And when you break towers, a usual thing for bot lane is to go sort of... I'm going to go Medjai's, by the way. And here I'm going to probably switch to Sweeper. A very common trend is to see your bot lane to go mid, for example, and the enemy AD carry is like, oh, thank God they're gone. I'm going to go push out waves. I'm going to go push out waves, right? So if it's good for you, you don't have to kill them every time. If it's good for you, you do want to kill them, because I have Medjai's too, so it helps. My team is very strong right now, but enemy team has Herald going, so we just want to kill and sort of finish our objective here. We're losing a lot, so I'm really strong. I don't think Viego is that strong, so I'm going to go on him fast here. I can actually kill this with one auto on the eye. Also remember, you can smite Herald. So if it's 900 health, if you smite, or 1200, you will kill it. So you can always smite in those situations. That gives me a lot of Medjai stacks. Also, I might review some of the game after this. So if you want to see me sort of analyze maybe my mistakes or what the early game was, I will definitely go over it after this. So I'll help you guys learn more about the early game. So here in this situation, I just need to cocoon the GP or just spider form. Here, if she R's away, I E. If she doesn't go, then we just kill her. This was an example of how Magic Pen is just really broken in this situation. You can see that I'm able to maximize my flat pen because I'm solo AP and I have 25 stacks of Medjai. So here, I have to kind of kite out and wait for his E. I want my spiders to kind of do damage. So here, I should be able to kill here. Cocoon, W, Q, right? That's what I like about Elise is your R cooldown's really short now after the buff. So I like to switch a lot as I get my abilities down. So as I'm killing him in Spider will do 100 times more DPS. But when you switch fast, you have 3 spells that you need to be ready for. Your Cocoon's a 10-second cooldown. So if you wait long enough, a lot of times I switch when Cocoons are back up and then I do another combo and wait a bit. You do have to practice that if you want to be good on Elise, because knowing when to switch when you're fighting someone is really good. You can spam, like, it's a very short cooldown, 3 seconds, right? Be sure to utilize the switch of forms. Understand, if I start with my Cocoon, even if I miss it, it's fine because it's going to be up soon. So I'm fighting for a bit here. And you just have to kind of practice knowing how long I have before I have to switch. And remember, your spiderlings, when you're in spider form, are insanely broken. They do a lot of damage. They will focus whoever you auto or Q. Sometimes I auto them or Q them with spider form, and then I run around. It's very, very broken. Just practice that a lot if you want to get better. Here, I can one-shot anyone. And I want to see if GP comes here. Or who exactly would be moving here. I know Sivir is on the red because she's kind of inting right now. So I'm going to just one-shot her. Seems like Bard took this path. This path is good for me to take advantage of. Oh, blew him up. So here you can always kind of hover your spiders to make them tank here. And your volatile spiderling or whatever will kill them afterwards. Obviously, I'm really snowballed. And this is why I say when they're not really building MR, the Storm Surge, the Magic Pen build, very powerful. Do I think we can end? Probably not. And I don't think you should be upgrading Medjai's every game. I think it's very easy to die on Elise, especially if you're not familiar with her. But this is a really good game, and I'm pretty happy whenever... So here I see Viego's here, or his E's over there. Guess he's probably not going to come. I'm going to base here, though. If he walks this way, I'll hit him. If Sivir walks this way, I'll kill her. I'm just going to stand here for a bit. Sometimes you can judge their movement, see which way they go. I think she might move here. So I'm going to check here. Okay, she doesn't move here. She should probably move here. If not, I'm going to base. She left. And this is where I go in Zhonya's. Def Cap is really not that good. You're not going to be going Def Cap. It's usually Hourglass. You have to have a Void later on. So I usually go Zhonya's, Hourglass, Seekers, into Void, into your lax items a bit flexible. If you really need magic resist, you can go Banshees. But it's very flexible for your last items. Just decide what you need. This game is a closeout game now, so what we do is want to make sure we get our Baron and pressure them. And a really OP combo, in case the enemy team doesn't let me show it, is you always want to Zhonya's when you're in spider form, because if you go spawny form, you Q them and Zhonya's, your spiderlings will still attack and they can do 5,000 damage to them if they're not paying attention. So be very aware of switching to spider form and then Zhonya's. It's really unsuspected damage that people will not expect. So here, I think Ari will probably run away. So I need to make sure I hit her with the charm maybe. But it's kind of hard against a heavy mobile champion like Ari. I have repel, Bard, ultis, just so I don't get caught up in something I really don't want to be in. And you can heal a lot. Your passive heals every time you auto attack. So you see this healing, very OP. Also Earth Dragon, you don't want to stack with your babies. And here you can see each auto heals you a lot. Your W auto attack reset. This also empowers your spiderlings. So really important to Q W then Zhonya's. It's like foolproof. It's going to be so broken if you do this combo once you get like really fed. And I'll show you guys in this game. But if enemy team outruns your spiderlings, it won't work. But generally, you shouldn't worry about that. So here in this situation, I'm just going to go. So you can see the spiderlings are killing people. I didn't have to die. Like, I thought we would actually, Kaiser would chase in there. But it's okay. I think my team wins even more. That's what they did. You see how it focuses the target you Q, right? I was able to Q the GP. So my babies are going to chase that GP. And if I W, they're empowered. So they're really biting his ankles hard. Obviously, what I did was super crazy to do that kind of shenanigans. But I just wanted to show you guys what you can do with Zhonya's. In a better situation, you wouldn't be sort of heavily diving. It's more of a defensive thing. You want to be using Zhonya's when you have to use it in case like a crowd control ability is going to hit. You're very close, but not close enough. You do want to finish this because it gives you your hourglass back again. But I don't have enough money, so I might just base after I kill Krugs. Later in the game, though, you're really delicate. You have to play a lot around your repel. If your E is down, you're pretty much... You have two survivability. You have two escapes. You have your repel and you have your other ability, your Zhonya. So you rely heavily on them. Damn, she fast. So what my goals are is to human form poke a lot with my Q. Very, very important. This Q damage with my W and auto attack, I'm trying to trim people down here. So you're going to see me utilize that a lot. Bard is down here, so someone should be here. I'm waiting for someone like Viego to move here. I mean, a TP ward doesn't really matter. Who's going to TP? I'm going to go and chunk Bard here. Just kite back. I don't really have to commit because I use my spells. Here, usually I switch forms again. I'm gonna look for a cocoon here if he dives in. I may have to run, so what I'm gonna do is just E here. Back up. I can kill this guy, so I'm waiting for my cocoon here. I mean, my damage is insane, right? But I need that sort of setup on them. The game's getting a bit closer. Clear this. I'm gonna go on her here. It's a very free kill. I still have my repel, and what we talk about repel is one of the key parts of us we have to have up. What do we need? We need a repel. We need Zhonya's, right? Obviously, I don't have it right now, but repel, Zhonya's, these are the most important things when you're playing her. Remember these abilities. If you have repel up, you can bait. You can go in and do a lot of dumb shit or crazy things. Depends on how you look at it. And if you have Zhonya's, you can even do more. If you don't have either of those, you're in a bad situation. Do not go in. If you don't have... What's it called? If you don't have... Also Flash. Flash is the third one. Flash, repel, Zhonya's, your key... instruments for surviving. So always think about these three things when you play Elise. If you think about these three things going into late game for fights, especially, I guarantee you're going to be like playing 10 times better than you usually do. I also think we should fight here because I want to kill them. No ward means I get to kill here. Oh, she's dead. I have repel up and cocoon, so no. Here, this W will do like 1,000 damage, so I can flash cook, bite someone here. For example, GP. What I want to do is actually just go on him right away. Damn, that tower shot hurts. So what do? I need to heal up. So how do we heal up? We go on a jungle camp. We just auto. Remember we talked about our auto attacks heal a lot. Plus finishing on jungle camp heals you as well. So here you see I'm actively not trying to just one-shot them. I'm just letting my auto attacks stick. There, I actually messed up. I shouldn't have cocoon. Like I shouldn't have spiderling flash. I should have done my human form damage first, and I would be able to do a lot more. A lot of people think Elise late game is really bad, but in my opinion, I think her late game is very good if you know how to play her. I just think her late game is really hard because people are really not... People do not think about the three things I explained. Her flash, her repel, most important, hourglass, and her flash. These, you must think about these things. They are crucial to your success. Is that TPing there? I don't know. I guess he's okay. What I'm looking for is perhaps a bard kill here. This guy does nothing to me, by the way. Just right click him down. So here I'm gonna Zhonya's, even though I don't... Oh, I thought I Zhonya's there. Never mind. Team's doing good work. Also, something you should be doing is before you flash repel on people, you should cast W, because if you cast W, then you flash repel, your W will fly and hit hit whoever you Q. So when you do that, it's a very good combo. but I'll explain it more another video. I don't think I was doing it as often as I should have been doing, just so you guys know. And here I would have gone Void, and then I would have sold my Medjais for maybe Banshees or Lich Bane, something like that. But I hope you guys like the video. I'm gonna go over more of it in right after this. So if you want to watch me go over the early game, be sure to stay around. If not, be sure to like, subscribe if you haven't already. And yeah, I'll go over the review right now. We're going to go over the early game of the Elise game we just played. It was a very strong game in Diamond MMR, Diamond 2-ish. And here I'm going to go over everything you need to know on improving and understanding how to analyze things that are important to analyze. For starters, we're Elise versus Viego. What you notice is I started blue this game, always W and do it 3 seconds before. What you have to understand here is we do not have vision, right? So when you don't have vision, you have to play with the understanding that you just have to assume what the other jungler is going to do. And what I assume is generally a top lane matchup like tank versus, carry. Viego would generally want to pad bot side, right? It's just favorable to sort of path towards bot side in this situation because you don't want to leave your bot lane in a bad position, especially in a game like this. So right here, we talked about how did I want to clear. And with the starters, you have to understand, if you're watching the very beginning of that video, the Zed versus Ahri matchup is a problem, right? It's a very bad thing for us. Here you can see I'm not going to have any help from my mid lane, right? So in this situation, if you want to do a play at all, you're not going to full clear here. There's no play for you. You're just AFK full farming. But if you want to be safe and smart, because if this Viego invades with a Bard roaming and an Ahri moving with a full push wave, and I'm full clearing with Raptors, and then I'm in red like 20 seconds before or after this, you may die, right? So that's why I always say a pseudo full clear is when you clear 3 camps, and then just the red. And the red, it enables you to be fully capped out as strong as possible and ready to go. So I always do this on these sort of early game junglers that I think I could be getting invaded on. And here this guy's going for the full clear, which is fine. And this is where, we talked a lot about the movements I'm noticing from the support reveals that, it's warded here. If the try is warded, do we run through try? We don't have to, because Elise doesn't need to run through the try. I know Sivir moved. I know she warded. So we do not have to move through that area. And what we do here is a simple play. Wait for them to overextend. A lot of people struggle with lane ganks. And I'm going to tell you, the trick to lane ganking is to just wait for them to go for the wave or the next CS, right? This walking up to trade, perfect. Go. Just started. And it ends up being a very nice play. Sure, we use flashes, but what's important about this play is because I do this play, my bot lane doesn't have to play like really scared because of, like the Viego coming, right? So now I give my team a really good advantage bot lane, which snowballs completely, right? My bot lane, even though I wasn't going bot as often, they were able to really take advantage of that. And if I don't do this play, what happens is I would end up losing bot grab. My bot lane would be really scared to push in the wave. So you do need to start to think like this when you play Elise. Sometimes lane ganks with repel is a very, very strong thing. So let's move on to the next play. So what happens in this situation? We end up sort of going towards bot side again. But we actually, this play was going through mid. This unfortunate situation, we just didn't need to take the E. There isn't really much going on with this. I didn't have to take this because I could have left and not get away from Viego. So overall, I will say this is kind of like nothing information. It really didn't change the outcome to the game. There wasn't really much to it. I got a kill, which is honestly pretty worth. I would take a kill in Viego Flash because I think that's very valuable. And what's important to remember about this situation is we're able to get Void Rubs off of it because the enemy team is overextending. And the same thing is we're going to go for the Dragon play here. And this is where things got weird, right? Chunking Bard is good. Very good. Chunking Viego or killing him, very good. Always split. Play with your support, who's a CC support. Sets you up really well. Able to get the Ahri kill, even better, right? This is where, you can't really do Dragon every time because Dragon will end up being, like, let's look at Viego's position. He's already sort of in position to contest Dragon, right? And what you notice about this game was it ended up being a situation where they just kept contesting Dragon. But I will say, let's look at the play that really, Viego invades, really bad for him. This situation, though, I will say, though, Dragon is risky here, but also it can be easy for us to get if mid lane stays. Thing is, I would hope they would have came to me a bit earlier here, because I think it could have been a much better play. But overall, it didn't really change the outcome of the game. It's just sad when your team doesn't rotate for you, and stuff like that can be a real, sad situation. But we were able to recover quite well afterwards. And this is where I was talking about. It's easy to chain die. Chain dying is going to ruin your game. I could easily go back to dragon and be like, okay, time to dragon again. No. It's just sometimes you just have to pause and just start farming a bit. And don't really... And stop like chain dying for dragon. And just sort of play away from dragon. Enemy team can use everything on dragon. Here I went for blue. I surprised them. They probably thought I was on dragon side. And I just do a simple play. I get void rubs. Then in the end, what ends up happening is the enemy team goes for dragon, right? They're dragon obsessed. And we're able to clean up again and able to get the kill. And from here, I was able to just kind of utilize, just a very powerful split push tactic that, in the situation where I'm going to talk to you about it is, this is the situation where you got to dissect these AD carries. So AD carries real vulnerable. Why does the Sivir push this wave? So from my point of view, you have to recognize when this is pretty much body language. You need to look at their body language. So right away, what I'm looking at, I'm eyeing the Sivir and I'm looking at how she moves after she clears a wave. She's moving down. This is telling me that she is not going to match Aiza. And also I have all my bot sides up. So what I'm going to do is at least clear red and I'm going to keep watching how she moves. If she runs backwards after she clears a wave, it pretty much reveals that she's leaving. But you can always see my vision. You always have a little vision after they kill minis. Look at her body language. What does this tell you? Tells me Sivir is moving to commit to the tower. So I recognize right away this body language is telling me what is going to go on, and it's just a very simple play to execute on right after this. So here I'm able to just go on her, kill her, and like I said, just start with spider farm. I saved my Q for the spell shield, but honestly a lot of times on other champions you're going to use it and switch forms and do the whole rotation again. But I'm able to get a lot of stacks of my dark steel. I'm able to get really far from it, and it's really good for me because I'm able to get a bunch of money, right? So stuff like that is always good for you to kind of get extra gold and kill people with. And I always recommend you do that because it sets you up for a really strong game. And as you can see, from here, I was able to just kind of go crazy. I was able to kill the Sivir again with the same strategy we talked about earlier. I'm on this side of the map. What do? I see the Sivir by herself. I see her team here. So I know she's not here. And I see her again by herself. And we just capitalize on that. And why is that important? Because it's accelerating me. It's getting me a lot of money and also not giving her a chance to catch up and come back into the game. And I think this strategy is really important because I think Elise is really good on it. And that's going to cover our video because I want you guys to just keep it simple and remember what you can from this. And be sure to like, subscribe if you haven't already. And yeah, good luck on the game. Good luck on the climb. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.